And welcome back to the Everyman Driver Car Cave alongside Alex Afreese. I'm Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. Today, a closer look at the 2014 Subaru Forester, a very popular car right now because everyone wants to see this one because it's a Subaru, and this is the latest model of it.
Yeah, it's the 4th generation Forester. This was sort of the top trim level, which for a Subaru is still not very much, but it did have some bells and whistles new to Subaru.
And this is one of 20-plus vehicles that we had a chance to drive on-road and off-road at Mudfest 2013 at the Dirtfish Rally School in Snoqualmie, Washington. So we're going to show you a couple different elements from our experience there, beginning with this cone test.
Yeah, this was a tight autocross style course. We could drive the cars as fast as we wanted, and the idea was to really see how they would do at the limit in terms of, of grip, body roll, all those good things.
So I was lucky enough to be at the helm of the cone test. When we come back, we'll talk about ride and handling, in which Alex was driving. All right, here we go, Subaru Forester 2014. Rock and roll, baby! That wasn't much. All right. Come on, bring it, bring it. Oh, missed it. All right, let's see. Accelerate out of this corner. Oh, there we go. Okay. And a stoppage.
So Dave, it would appear as though the symmetrical all-wheel drive was working just fine, but that engine leaves something to be desired.
Yeah, not a big pop coming out of it, but otherwise handling was pretty strong, pretty solid. I had a little bit of, I oversteered there one of those times and kind of got stuck, but other than that, yeah, pretty responsive. It's not too light, not too stiff.
You oversteered, but the car understeered, but you missed the cone.
Yeah, I did miss the cone. So no, I like it. Not too bad. I wish there was a little bit more power to accelerate out of the corners, but yeah. I think one of my most favorite parts of Mudfest this year was driving around the cones, because that's when you have a chance to really put the pedal to the floor, go around the corners as hard as possible, brake, peel out if possible, but there's really no way to peel out with the CVT.
Well, this does have a 250 horsepower 2-liter boxer engine, so it was plenty of power for a car this size, but this is made for more slow off-roading than hardcore street driving. In addition to the cones course, Dave and I took the Forester out on mostly public roads to show you what it would ride and handle like in the real world.
Alex, this is pretty exciting. The 2014 Subaru Forester 2-liter CVT, which I don't know how many people are really fans of CVTs. Your impressions on this first drive of the ride and handling?
Well, obviously this is the first time in this all-new Forester, and I've got to say it's definitely an improvement over the old one. Subarus are tough because they're so utilitarian. They're so sort of function over form, but this really is a nice place to be. I mean, we've got the nav screen, even though it's an individual unit. We've got the screen up above, which really does give all sorts of great fuel, traction, information, and the big panoramic roof. So Subaru is starting to upgrade this car slowly, make it a little more luxurious. The steering is electric and feels actually really good. Engine, not the most powerful thing out there for sure, but at the same time with the CVT you're going to get good fuel numbers.
Yeah, so is it a move in the right direction in 2014 for Subaru?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're not, it's tough. This car's 28 grand, so it's not a ton, and they're not ever going to be a luxury car brand. They don't want to be. That's not what they are. I think this is a pretty good compromise of getting some creature comforts and getting a nicer experience while still keeping the cost down.
It's a 4th generation crossover SUV, and I think they're getting really close to finding a good mix between utilitarian but also a comfortable experience as a driver or a passenger. I know it still has that reputation. I mean, Subaru, hey, let's go off-road.
Yeah.
But it's getting a little bit closer, and I still wish there'd be a little bit more coming at me in terms of the the touch screen, the instrument panel, and so on.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of hard plastics, and it's a Spartan interior. The navigation unit is clearly just a bolt-in unit that you can replace, but they're getting better at, like you said, at finding that mix between the two. And for a lot of people, a lot of Subaru owners, they kind of like the Spartanness. I mean, this car is going to sell like hotcakes. So no matter what we say, people love Subarus, and they're going to continue to sell a buttload of them. So how many, you ask? A buttload.
So the MSRP on the 2014 Subaru Forester 2.0 XT Premium with the CVT is just above $27,000. We also have the destination handling, so when all said and done, it'll be about 28 grand for this vehicle. Again, we didn't have a chance to drive it a whole bunch to give you a real rating system, but how about a first drive rating of 1 to 10?
I'm going to give this car a 7. I wasn't much of a fan. The whole car just... It off-roaded well, which it should. It's a Subaru. And it drove fine, but the whole thing was just rough. I don't know. To me, it kind of felt like a half-assed job on a lot of the interior. They put in a panoramic roof. That seems standard these days. But you could see the sheet metal, in the roof, and it was just this modular, this modular navigation system that they stuck in there. The whole thing, I feel like Subaru is almost at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to sort of economy. I feel like Hyundai and Kia keep trying to up their game, and Subaru, I don't know, this whole car just sort of felt just a little sloppy for being the 4th generation Forester, a car that they're going to sell a freaking million of.
I'm not a Subaru guy, but I'm not going to slam it either. Yeah. But I can see why someone would want it. I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a kind of a stiff feel, even when you're sitting in it.
Yeah.
I didn't really like getting into that car. I think I was biased based on all the other luxury vehicles we were driving there. There are more bigger crossovers and SUVs, and this one stood out as I'd rather forget that one.
Well, and Subaru has a really weird appeal. Everyman Driver Nation, stick with me for a second. It's like, minus the WRXs and the STIs, which are very much designed for automotive enthusiasts, the rally cars, all that stuff. The appeal of Subaru is it's like nobody expects it to be anything special. So it's like it's totally okay to drive around in a dirty Subaru. Oh, it's a Subaru. It's totally okay to have your Subaru covered in dog hair. Oh, it's just a Subaru. So I get the appeal. They're going to sell whether I like them or not. They're going to sell, like I said, 1 billion of these cars, and I think a lot of it is it's a very easy car to own. You're not going to feel special in it, but at the same time, you're not going to have to put any effort into the car ever.
Well, maybe when we get a chance to drive this for a week, we'll have a different opinion.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, alongside Alex Afreese, I'm Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching Everyman Driver. Take care.